истинный в огне. Кто читает свои сны, поклоняюсь темноте.
Have you ever wondered what the bus driver looks like? Well, I know I have. Now, let me tell you all what happened. I was playing Fortnite one afternoon, getting kills after kills and wins after wins. I went to play another game when all of a sudden I was inside the battle bus, but I was in first person. I could see all of the other players, and I then went to look at the bus driver, but he wasn't there. This confused me, as everyone who plays Fortnite knows there is no possible way to go into first person. But what freaked me out even more was the fact that there was no bus driver. I thought that this must have been some kind of huge bug, and so I exited the battle bus and just played the rest of the game normally. After the game ended, I went to look around online to see if anyone else had experienced the same thing like I had. After a few hours of searching, I was about to give up when suddenly I found a Reddit post. The post was about the same thing I experienced. The Reddit user described their experience the same way that I had experienced it. But when I got close to the end of the post, they said that they were visited by the bus driver later that night, and that they were almost killed. I laughed this off and thought nothing of it. After I read the post, I went to play a few more games, and eventually I decided to go to sleep. I don't remember how long I was asleep, but all of a sudden I was awoken by what sounded like a truck or something sitting in front of my house. I heard the sounds of its engines and was starting to get annoyed when I finally looked out of my window. It was the battle bus, but I didn't know how this was possible. Was the person who wrote that Reddit post actually telling the truth? Then, all of a sudden, I blinked and I was inside the battle bus, like from that one game. At this point, I was beyond freaked out, and that's when the panic started to settle in. I looked around and I saw dozens of other seats empty. It appeared as if I was the only one on the bus. But that's when I looked up and saw it, the bus driver. What I saw was a nightmare. It looked like a demon. It started to laugh in this demonic tone, and that still sends shivers down my spine when I think of it. It then got out of its seat and started to walk down the aisle, and was eventually right next to where I was sitting. It looked at me with its evil red eyes and asked,
"Are you ready to die?"
At this point, I thought I was done for, until for some reason, when I blinked, I was back in my room. I looked out of my window and the battle bus and the bus driver were gone. I gave a huge sigh of relief and decided to stay up the rest of the night, as I couldn't sleep. Now, I'm just thankful that I'm still alive. But if you're like me and you want to know what the bus driver looks like, then don't, because it might just save your life.